Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today we're going to talk about the smartest thing that you can do if you are concerned about high inflation, and it is not what you probably think. Okay, before we do that though, please, if you have not already, if you have, this is your first time checking out our channel, welcome. Please click the subscribe button, smash the notification bell to be updated to make sure you don't miss out on any of our amazing videos. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If not, please tell me in the comments. If you're interested in international structuring, international tax planning, how to reduce your tax as close to zero as legally possible, how to structure your assets for asset protection, how to form offshore companies, bank accounts, get second residencies, citizenships, passports, please reach out to me. You can book a call at clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer. There's a link below in the description, or you can check out our website, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. Let's dive in. Okay, so right now, there's obviously lots of global money printing going on. Most people are, not naive to this fact. And so as a result, I hear a lot of people who are concerned about inflation. Some of them are concerned about hyperinflation. I have a video of Are We in Danger of Hyperinflation? You can check it out. But broadly, let's talk about if you're concerned about inflation and, depending on how much that is, what is the best thing you should do? So a lot of people, what I hear is like, hey, buy gold, buy Bitcoin, okay? Now there's no real reason to believe that Bitcoin is going to perform well in an inflationary environment. We have no evidence of that at this point in time. It's possible that it will. There's a bunch of reasons to believe it won't, but we'll see, right? Gold actually isn't that great in inflation. So I was recommending gold to people like in the spring, and when the price was a lot lower, at close to all-time highs. I'm really not that bullish on gold. I don't hold gold myself at this point in time. I really don't think that it's a particularly great thing to be holding. I think the people who are really big gold bugs are kind of nuts. There's a time and a place for it. When you're in a situation where the asset is low, buy it. When it's high, sell it. That's basically the way that I would look at it. But it's a non-productive asset, so it's not amazing. What should you do instead, though? I'm going to suggest to you that if at all possible, if that is your concern, what you should do is you should leverage the fuck up. Wow, what does that mean? So let's take a simple look at this, okay? Let's say that you believe that inflation is going to be very high. What does this mean? This means the value of money is going to go down. Debt is denominated in money. So the best thing for you to do would be to have a ton of debt. Tons of debt, right? Because basically the value of that's going to go down. You could have like, I don't know, $1 billion of debt, and in an extreme hyperinflation environment, you're like, boom, I'm debt free. This is great. It's no problem. You get to pay it off with inflated dollars. So that is certainly one of the smartest things to do if that's what you believe. Now, here's what I'm going to give you is that you don't know that that's going to happen. I certainly don't know that's going to happen. It's possible it will. It's possible that deflation will happen. I think there's a reasonable argument at this point in time that you'll see some inflation. How much? Tougher to say. Whole conversation we can have about that. But let's look at how you would utilize this in a real practical situation. Okay, what I would do is I would say go and buy a property, okay? Now, let's say I have enough cash to buy the property. Let's just, for instance, say that the property is $250,000, okay? And I have $250,000, so I can put the cash down. I wouldn't put the cash down, okay? What I would do instead is I would keep the cash and I would put it somewhere else, right? Someplace that works for me. And I would turn around and I would say, okay, great. I'm going to borrow whatever I can on it. The maximum that I can borrow on this property. Realistically, maybe 80% loan to value, okay? So now I have a $250,000 or $200,000 mortgage. I have $50,000 that I put into the property, and I have $200,000 in cash equivalents, okay? Now, if it happens that inflation goes up, right, then the value of my property goes up, the value of the debt goes down. I won, right? Okay, the value of my cash went down as well, but no problems. I could have taken that cash and I could have bought, some sort of other asset, right? Say stocks or something like that. Gold even. On the flip side, let's say that it's deflationary, right? So we see deflation, it goes the other way, meaning that the value of the debt in relative terms goes up, right? Well then no problems because I still have my cash, I just pay off the debt and I'm good. So either way I'm covered, right? It's interesting to me that the whole narrative that people have had, there's like this circle of people, maybe you haven't heard of them, but I certainly see them on Twitter and around the internet and in various different communities, et cetera, who are like, inflation's coming, you should buy gold. I really don't think you should. I think that you should buy gold when gold is cheap. When gold is cheap, it's a good idea to buy gold. When gold is expensive, it's not such a great idea to buy gold. Buy low, sell high. This is how we make money in investing, right? If we're worried about inflation, we want debt, because debt gets destroyed by inflation. If we think deflation is coming, then we don't want debt, okay? Now, if we're in a situation where we can have this best of both worlds thing that I'm mentioning, right? Where we say, hey, listen, we're gonna keep our cash on the sidelines, we're gonna put it in, some other asset that can be working for us, then we can play it either way, right? Now, what I'm saying is that when I'm doing that, please note this, I wouldn't want to take that, if I'm concerned, hey, it could go either way, it could be deflationary, it could be inflationary. I wouldn't want to take my cash and turn around and put it into some asset that in a deflationary environment would crash, right? That's not what I would want to do. So what would I do as an alternative? I'd probably put it into some sort of a loan product, some sort of like a bond or something, right? So I'm getting some rate of return that's hopefully paying for the cost of my interest anyway, so I'm kind of net neutral, right? If I'm wrong, then I'm good to go, right? If I'm right, okay, the value of this is going to get eroded. It'll be mitigated by the fact that I have this interest, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to benefit from the value of the asset going up and the debt on a relative basis going down. So anyway, I hope that helps. Pretty quick, pretty short video. I think that it's just interesting to me that people seem to not look at that. There is one part that I guess is probably worth noting, which is in some countries you don't have good access to credit markets, especially as a foreigner. So you kind of have to pay attention to how to do that. And I think it is worth kind of structuring out what makes sense for you. There's obviously private lenders that can help you in certain cases. It's worth understanding how the banking and lending systems in a given country work. I've often found it kind of interesting, like I've helped friends and clients who needed to get loans where they would walk into the bank and they would get denied, and I would walk into the bank for them and I would get approved. And the reason for that was I took the time to understand what the bank's lending criteria was and be able to shape the story and the picture in order to make it work for them, right? So I just understand, hey, listen, the bank's concern is risk. Here's how we're going to mitigate the risk. Here's how the bank understands that you're low risk. Let's give them the pieces that they need in order to understand that, and off we go. So anyway, like I said, if you're interested in international structuring, in international investing, in asset protection, in reducing your tax, in forming offshore companies, bank accounts, in getting second residencies, citizenships, etc., please reach out to me. You can book a call, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer. I'm happy to help you. And if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, pound the notification bell, make sure you don't miss out on a single video. Like the video if you liked it. If not, tell me why. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video.